Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're going to be breaking down the points in the new Skaventide box set. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so I already did a breakdown of like the perceived value based on everything inside the Skaventide set. If you were to buy it at retail, just how much savings you would get. And it worked out to almost like $900 to $1,000 worth of like models, books, terrain, everything. And with the retail price of like $265 and lots of options to purchase Skaventide at a discount, it's clear that it's one of the best deals ever from Games Workshop. But now I wanted to go through and just see exactly how many points are for each side inside this box set as well. So if you were to pick up this box set, exactly how many points of Stormcast Eternals or how many points of Skaven are you getting? What percentage of like a full-size 2,000 point army are you going to have? And is it viable to pick up just 2 copies of it or to buy one of these Skaventide box sets and swap out your Skaven for some more Stormcast or your Stormcast for some more Skaven? So inside the box set is a total of 24 Stormcast Eternals models and then 50 Skaven models for a whopping 74 total models, plus the terrain, the boards, the books, all that good stuff. Whether you're just looking to play those quick games of Spearhead or you're looking to get into Big Sig, either way this is a great jumping off point, but let's see exactly where you'll be at. Now we know for sure that it includes 2 full Spearheads plus a bunch of extra models you won't use in your Spearhead games, but exactly how many points are you getting for each side? So if we scroll down here and take a look, I went through the new points manual and pulled out the points for each of the individual units inside. So first we're going to do the Stormcast Eternals. So you get 1 Lord Vigilant on Griftstalker. He is 210 points. 1 Lord Terminus with Memoriam for 170 points. 1 Lord Veritant and Griff Crow for 140 points. 1 Knight Quester for 150 points. 3 Reclusians with 2 Memorians for 150 points. And then you get 3 Prosecutors for 140 points and 10 Liberators. That's 2 units of 5 for a total of 240 points. So the Stormcast Eternal side of Skaventide comes out to 1,200 points in total. So basically with this box set, you're getting about 60% of a 2,000 point army. And you could easily pick out something like a Dragon that comes in at like 500 points and then 1 more unit and basically be there. You could pick up 2 of this box set and you would have 2,400 points, maybe leave out a couple characters and you have a full 2,000 point army. And if you just take that $265 price tag and just cut it in half, say you were splitting this with a friend, you're looking at about $132.50 for 1,200 points worth of models. So it works out to about 11 cents per point, which is a pretty good deal when you consider that some armies from Games Workshop come out to closer to like $1 per point. Now, obviously, because you're getting a box set, you're not picking your individual units in your army. But realistically, for 1,200 points, this is a pretty amazing deal. So let's take a look at these Skaven next. So you're going to get a total of 50 Skaven models in the set. Now keep in mind 40 of those are clan rats. So it's really like 10 special models and then 40 clan rats. So the bulk of what you're getting on the Skaven side is just infantry chaff. But they are cool models nonetheless. So starting off with the Claw Lord on Gnaw Beast, one of my favorite new models, 170 points for him. Then we have the Grey Seer for 120 points. 1 Warlock Engineer for 150 points, 1 Rattling Warp Blaster for 190 points, 3 Rat Ogres coming in at 170 points, and then we have 3 Warplock Giselles coming in at 150 points, and then our 40 Clan Rats, 2 units of 20, come out to a total of 320 total points. So you're getting 1,270 points worth of Skaven. So again, really nice deal, coming out to basically like 10 cents per point. Again, a little over 60% of a 2,000 point army. And while realistically you could pick up 2 of these box sets, put it together, and you would have over 2,540 points, easily enough to just leave out some clan rats and have a pretty nice army. Again, you have the option for some of the bigger units like a Vermin Lord or something like that. It's going to give you a nice chunk of like 400 plus points for somewhere around like $170. There's a lot of other cool units in the range, but I have to say that this is a really nice box set. The fact that you're getting this amount of savings over retail and then also getting a really nice chunk of a 2,000 point army, the idea that you already have 2 full Spearheads right out of the gate inside this box set and everything you need to get started playing, as well as all the stuff you need to expand out your forces into the bigger games of Big Sig. I'm definitely sticking to my guns on this one and saying this is one of the best boxes Games Workshop has ever produced. And while the Dominion box was pretty awesome overall, and I'm a huge fan of both the Stormcast Eternals and Cruel Boys, I think with the addition of Spearhead and the extra stuff that's included in this box set, including the terrain, the extra books, the cards, all that stuff, that this is an even better deal. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now, back to the video. And as I get a little bit more familiar with the actual unit abilities and everything, go through all the new rules that just dropped, read through the actual rulebook and get more familiar with the game, I'll put together some videos as well as to what I think you should expand out your force with. Now, as we've already discussed, you could easily pick up one of these box sets, swap your Skaven for your buddy's Stormcast or vice versa, and easily put together a 2,000 point force for either one of these factions. And that's definitely a viable option, but you'd for sure be missing out on some of the cooler stuff in the range. And while you're definitely not going to have the most competitive force, you're also going to lack a little bit of diversity, picking up some of the individual models or units that aren't included in this box set. So I'll definitely spend a little time, go through the actual Skaven rules, the Stormcast rules, get a better idea on paper what looks good on the battlefield and what units I wouldn't want to leave home without. And then I'll do an individual faction focus video on each the Stormcast Eternals and Skaven as well, for what I think a nice 2,000 point army would look like. And of course, I'm going to include some of those big heroes in there. Something like Karaze or Krondis, the big dragons for the Stormcast Eternals, or one of the Vermin Lord options for the Skaven, possibly some war machines, and maybe even put together a couple of variant lists. But I think right out of the gate, you're starting off with a nice force for either one of these factions. There's definitely some viability in splitting with a friend or picking up two of these box sets and having two full forces of around 2,400 to 2,500 points that you could easily trim down to have two full 2,000 point armies. But it's definitely going to take me a little bit of time to see exactly what looks good on paper and what performs well on the battlefield. And as I've mentioned a couple times already, we're going to be doing an escalation league over on Tabletop Bros. I already launched the prequel video with my Cruel Boys, just showing off the army and discussing a little bit of what we've been revealed so far. But if you are interested in following the journey as we all learn to play the new version of Age of Sigmar locally, build up our armies from a spearhead box all the way up to 2,000 point force, and do a massive free-for-all battle at the end, there's a link down in the description for Tabletop Bros, our hobby and gaming channel, and hopefully we'll earn your subscription. So let me know what you think of the new Skaventide box. Are you most excited for the Stormcast Eternals? Are you looking forward to the Skaven? Have you thought about swapping with a friend so you have a full 2,000 points right out of the gate? Or what were you thinking about adding into your faction respectively, whether it's the Stormcast or the Skaven? Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I just got my Skaventide in the mail. I can't wait to bust it open, and I'm out of here.